Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of Orbital Defense Station Artemis, watching the endless dance of supply ships and maintenance drones against Earth's blue backdrop. 20 years of service in the United Earth Defense Force hadn't prepared her for what was about to unfold. "Commander, anomalous readings at the edge of Mars orbit," Lieutenant Rodriguez called out, his voice cutting through the routine bridge chatter. "Multiple objects approaching at velocities exceeding our fastest ships." Chen's military training kicked in instantly. "Show me." The main display lit up with tactical data. 3 vessels were approaching Earth's orbit, one sleek and silver, trailing what appeared to be streams of crystalline light, pursued by 2 larger ships that seemed to absorb the very starlight around them. "Get me Admiral Hassan," Chen ordered, her eyes fixed on the approaching vessels, "and bring our weapon systems online." Before the communications officer could respond, a transmission cut through all frequencies. The message wasn't in any human language, but its mathematical pattern was unmistakable: prime numbers, the universal language of intelligence. "Send the next sequence," Chen commanded. "Let's see if they're trying to talk." The response came instantly, not in mathematics, but in perfect English. "People of Earth, we are the Luminary. We seek asylum from those who would destroy us. The Shadowborn. They have already consumed 12 civilizations. We beg for your aid." The pursuing vessels, now clearly visible through the station's telescopes, broadcast their own message. "This is not your concern, humans. Surrender the Luminary vessel or face extinction." Chen's jaw tightened as she studied the tactical display. The Luminary ship was badly damaged, venting plasma and trailing debris. The pursuing vessels, the Shadowborn, were charging weapons that made her sensors scream warnings she'd never seen before. "Admiral Hassan on secure channel," the comm officer announced. "Sarah, tell me you're seeing this." Hassan's voice was steady despite the situation. "Yes, sir. First contact, and it's brought trouble to our doorstep. The Luminary ship won't survive another hit." "Your recommendation, Commander?" Chen didn't hesitate. "We can't let them die, sir. And we certainly can't let these Shadowborn think they can threaten Earth." "Agreed. Initiate Defense Protocol Omega on mobilizing the fleet." Chen opened a channel to all Earth defense stations and ships. "This is Commander Chen. Battle stations. I repeat, battle stations. This is not a drill." Across Earth orbit, humanity's military might awakened. Weapon platforms emerged from hidden positions. Stealth ships decloaked. Fighter squadrons launched from carriers. The Shadowborn were about to learn that humans didn't take kindly to threats. The Luminary vessel limped toward Earth's defense perimeter as Chen coordinated with other commanders. Unlike the massive Shadowborn ships, Earth's fleet consisted of smaller, more numerous vessels, carriers, frigates, and swarms of fighters. It was a design philosophy born from centuries of human warfare: adaptability over raw power. "Shadowborn vessels entering weapons range," Rodriguez reported. "They're charging main weapons." "Deploy electronic warfare suite," Chen ordered. "Let's see how their advanced technology handles good old-fashioned human hacking." The battle that followed would be remembered as humanity's debut on the galactic stage. As the Shadowborn opened fire with weapons that could shear planets, they found their targeting systems corrupted by viral attacks. Their energy weapons, designed to overwhelm shields through brute force, scattered harmlessly against Earth's multilayered point defense networks. Most surprisingly to the aliens, human ships fought dirty. Fighters executed maneuvers that seemed suicidal until the last second. Stealth ships appeared from nowhere to deliver precision strikes. Hidden missile platforms emerged from asteroid fields. The Luminary ship's commander watched in awe as humanity's defensive strategy unfolded. Their voice trembled with hope as they transmitted, "Impossible. No one has ever survived first contact with the Shadowborn, let alone forced them to retreat." And retreat they did. After losing multiple weapon systems and suffering significant damage, the Shadowborn ships pulled back, their final transmission ominous. You have made an enemy of a force you cannot comprehend, humans. Our main fleet comes. As the threat of full-scale war loomed, Shen met with the luminary representatives aboard Artemis Station. Their crystalline forms shifted colors as they spoke, displaying what seemed to be emotion. "You must understand," the luminary elder said, its form pulsing with urgent red lights. "The Shadowborn don't just conquer, they consume. They absorb the technology and knowledge of every civilization they destroy. They've grown stronger with each victory." Admiral Hassan, who had arrived on station, listened intently. "How many worlds have they taken?" 12 advanced civilizations, hundreds of colonies. None could stand against them. But the Elder's crystals shifted to a curious blue. "None fought like you did. Your tactics, your technology, it's different. Unpredictable." Chen smiled grimly. "That's because we developed our military expecting to fight ourselves. Humans have been practicing war against humans for millennia. We built our defenses to counter opponents who think like we do, who use deception, who fight dirty, who never give up." The luminary elder's form brightened. "Then perhaps there is hope. We offer all our remaining technology, all our knowledge. Help us fight them, and it's yours." Hassan looked at Chen, then back to the luminary. "We'll do better than that. We'll teach you how to fight like humans." As orders went out across the solar system to prepare for war, Shen couldn't help but feel a fierce pride. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for centuries, hoping to join a galactic community. Instead, they found themselves defending that community, standing against the darkness that threatened to consume all. The real test would come when the Shadowborn main fleet arrived. But they would find Earth ready, and humanity would show the galaxy why you should never corner a species that had spent its entire history learning to fight itself. The art of human warfare. Deep within Lunar Base Alpha, Admiral Hassan stood before a holographic display showing Earth's combined fleet. Beside him, the luminary elder's crystalline form shifted through shades of amazement as they watched human ships perform combat drills. "I don't understand," the elder said, their form pulsing with confusion. "Your ships are so small." Commander Chen, who had been promoted to fleet captain after the first encounter, stepped forward. "Small means agile, hard to hit, and most importantly," she smiled, "cheap to produce. We can lose 10 ships for every one of theirs and still come out ahead." The display showed Earth's defensive strategy unfolding. Carriers launched swarms of fighters that moved in complex, unpredictable patterns. Stealth ships vanished and reappeared, striking from impossible angles. Electronic warfare vessels broadcast signals that confused enemy targeting systems. "But the Shadowborn's weapons," the elder began, "are powerful but predictable," Hassan interrupted. "They rely on overwhelming force because it's always worked before. We're going to show them something they've never seen." In the 2 weeks since first contact, humanity had been busy. Engineers had combined luminary crystal technology with human innovation, creating hybrid weapons and defense systems that neither species could have developed alone. "Show them Project Phantom," Hassan ordered. The hologram shifted to show a new type of vessel. It looked like a standard Earth destroyer, but its hull was covered in modified luminary crystals. "The crystals don't just absorb energy now," Chen explained. "They bend light around our ships, making them nearly invisible. But here's the real trick. When they do detect us, they won't know if they're seeing our actual ships or holograms created by the crystal arrays." The elder's form brightened with understanding. "You're going to make them doubt everything they see." "Exactly," Hassan nodded. "In human warfare, deception is as powerful as any weapon. But we're not done yet. Show them the drone swarms." Thousands of small autonomous craft appeared in the display. Each was barely larger than a human fighter, but powered by advanced AI systems. "These are our secret weapon," Chen said proudly. "The Shadowborn rely on predictable attack patterns. Our AI drones learn and adapt in real time. Every time they destroy one, the others get smarter." The luminary elders form, pulsed with hope for the first time since their arrival. You fight unlike any species we've encountered. The Shadowborn expect direct confrontation, ships meeting in organized battle lines. Which is exactly what we won't give them, Hassan finished. Humanity perfected the art of asymmetric warfare centuries ago. We learned that when you can't match your enemy's strength, you make that strength work against them. Throughout the solar system, humanity's preparations continued. Asteroid fields were seeded with cloaked missile platforms. Gas giant mining stations were converted into repair bases. Every human ship was upgraded with luminary crystals, while every luminary vessel learned human combat tactics. Deep space sensors detected the Shadowborn fleet 1 month after first contact. Over 3,000 ships, each larger than anything humanity had ever built, approached with inexorable purpose. They still think size equals power, Chen observed, watching the tactical display. They haven't learned anything from our first encounter. The Shadowborn's transmission was predictably arrogant. Your destruction is inevitable. Surrender the luminary, and we will make your extinction quick. Hassan's response was brief. Come and find out why humans have survived every attempt to destroy us. As the enemy fleet approached Jupiter's orbit, Chen coordinated with commanders across the system. Every human ship, every weapons platform, every drone swarm was in position. They had one chance to prove that humanity's way of war could defeat an enemy that had never known defeat. All ships, execute Operation Shadowdance, Hassan ordered. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and humanity was about to teach the galaxy a lesson about warfare that would never be forgotten. Operation Starburst. The Shadowborn fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel near Jupiter's orbit, their black ships blotting out the stars behind them. Their formation was perfect, a massive wall of warships arranged in precise, mathematical patterns. It was exactly what humanity had expected from an enemy that relied on overwhelming force and tactical predictability. They're scanning for our fleet, Chen reported from the bridge of the newly commissioned EDF Artemis. All they'll find are the decoys we left in high orbit. Admiral Hassan's voice came through the secure channel. Let them think we're cowering behind Earth's moon. All ships maintain emission control. Wait for my signal. The massive enemy fleet moved forward with absolute confidence, their sensors detecting only a small collection of human ships apparently attempting to hide in lunar orbit. Their commander's voice boomed across all frequencies. Your pitiful defenses cannot save you. Surrender now. Hassan's response was simple. Now. Operation Starburst began with a sight that made even the stoic luminary elder gasp in surprise. The asteroid field between Mars and Jupiter came alive. What the Shadowborn had dismissed as space debris transformed into humanity's true fleet. Hundreds of ships, their hulls covered in modified luminary crystals, had been hiding in plain sight. All ships, execute attack pattern Delta, Chen commanded. Drone swarms, begin electronic warfare protocols. The human fleet didn't move in traditional formation. Instead, they scattered like mercury droplets, each ship choosing its own vector. Fighters launched from hidden carriers, while stealth vessels disappeared completely from sensors. The Shadowborn responded with devastating energy weapons that could tear apart capital ships. But they hit nothing. Every target they fired at turned out to be a hologram generated by crystal arrays, while real human ships struck from unexpected angles. They're trying to form a defensive sphere, Chen observed. Exactly as predicted. Execute Phase 2. The true genius of humanity's strategy became apparent. The scattered human fleet wasn't in disarray. They were herding the Shadowborn ships into position. As the enemy fleet condensed into a tight defensive formation, hidden weapons platforms in the asteroid field revealed themselves. All platforms, commence firing, Hassan ordered. Show them why you don't let humans choose the battlefield. Thousands of missiles streaked from the asteroids, each equipped with warheads enhanced by luminary technology. The Shadowborn's tight formation, intended to maximize their defensive capabilities, now worked against them. Their ships were too close together to maneuver effectively. But humanity wasn't done. As the Shadowborn frantically engaged the missile swarms, Chen gave the order that would change the course of the battle. All electronic warfare ships, execute virus upload. Years of defending against human hackers had taught Earth's military the value of cyber warfare. The viruses they uploaded weren't designed to destroy the enemy systems. They did something far worse. They introduced subtle errors into targeting computers, shield harmonics, and navigation systems. The Shadowborn fleet began to lose cohesion. Ships fired at phantom targets or misidentified friendly vessels as enemies. Their perfect formation dissolved into chaos as human fighters darted between their capital ships, striking with surgical precision at weakened shield points. Luminary vessels, commence crystal resonance, Chen commanded. The remaining luminary ships, which had been holding position behind Earth's fleet, activated their modified crystal arrays. The crystals didn't just absorb energy now. They'd redirected it. Every shot the Shadowborn fired was caught in a web of crystalline energy and sent back at them. Their flagship is changing position, Hassan noted. They're preparing to retreat. The Shadowborn commander's voice had lost its arrogant tone. What manner of warfare is this? You fight without honor, without proper formation. We fight to win, Hassan replied. And we're not done teaching you about human warfare. All ships, execute Operation Firebreak. This was the moment Chen had been waiting for. Throughout the battle, human stealth ships had been quietly moving into position around the Shadowborn fleet. Now they decloaked simultaneously, their weapons powered by energy absorbed through their crystal arrays. The trap closed. The mighty Shadowborn fleet, which had never known defeat, found itself caught between waves of autonomous drones, swarms of fighters, redirected energy weapons, and precisely positioned stealth ships. Their perfect formations meant nothing against an enemy that turned chaos itself into a weapon. Detecting multiple warp signatures, Chen reported. They're retreating. The Shadowborn fleet, or what remained of it, fled in disarray. Nearly a third of their ships had been destroyed or disabled, while Earth's losses were minimal thanks to their defensive strategy. As the enemy disappeared into deep space, the Luminary Elder's crystalline form glowed with an emotion that needed no translation. Hope. In all our years of fighting them, we never inflicted such losses. How did you know this strategy would work? Chen smiled grimly. Because humans have been fighting humans for thousands of years. We learned long ago that the strongest enemy can be defeated if you refuse to fight on their terms. But everyone knew this was just the beginning. The Shadowborn would return, and next time they would be ready for some of humanity's tricks. What they didn't understand was that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or tactics, it was their ability to adapt and innovate. Send word to all human colonies and outposts, Hassan ordered. The real war has just begun. The breaking storm. News of humanity's victory spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. On worlds conquered by the Shadowborn, whispers of hope began to circulate. The undefeatable had been defeated. The invincible had been broken. Captain Chen stood on the observation deck of Lunar Base Alpha, watching as alien ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. Not as enemies, but as allies seeking Earth's help. Another delegation has arrived, Admiral Hassan announced, joining her at the viewport. This time from the Nexus Collective. That makes 7 different species in the past week. The new arrivals were unlike anything humans had seen before. Ships that seemed to be made of pure energy, their forms shifting and flowing like liquid light. They joined the growing fleet of alien vessels orbiting Earth. Crystalline ships of the Luminary, bioorganic vessels of the verdant chorus, and metallic spheres of the silicon mines. They all want the same thing, Chen observed, to learn how we fought the Shadowborn. The Luminary Elder, who had become Earth's primary diplomatic contact, approached them. You don't understand what you've done. The Shadowborn didn't just conquer. They broke the spirit of every species they encountered. Until now. Inside the base's main conference chamber, Representatives from a dozen alien species gathered. Some appeared in physical form, others as holograms or energy patterns. All had come to hear humanity's proposal for a united defense. Admiral Hassan stood before them, his voice firm. The Shadowborn's power came from isolation. They attacked each civilization separately, preventing any unified response. We're going to change that. The chamber's holographic display showed tactical data from the recent battle. Human warfare isn't about matching strength with strength, Hassan explained. It's about finding the enemy's weaknesses and exploiting them ruthlessly. The Shadowborn rely on predictability, on overwhelming force. So we'll be unpredictable. We'll strike where they're weak, retreat when they're strong. But they'll adapt to your tactics, a representative of the Silicon Mines observed, their metallic form gleaming. Chen stepped forward. Of course they will. That's why we'll keep changing them. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our strategies. It's our ability to innovate. The plan they proposed was audacious. Each species would contribute their unique abilities to a combined fleet. The Luminary's crystal technology, the Verdant Chorus's living ships, the Silicon Mines' advanced AI. All would be integrated with human tactical doctrine. We'll teach you to fight like humans, Hassan declared. Not just our tactics, but our way of thinking. The Shadowborn expect their opponents to fight conventionally. We'll show them what happens when the entire galaxy learns guerrilla warfare. Long-range sensors detected the Shadowborn gathering their forces. Their main fleet had grown to over 5,000 ships, the largest armada ever assembled in known space. They meant to crush this rebellion before it could spread. But they were too late. Across their empire, conquered species were rising up, using tactics learned from Earth's military advisors. Shadowborn supply lines were disrupted by hit-and-run attacks. Their communications were jammed by electronic warfare. Their perfect order was shattered by chaos and deception. In Earth orbit, the combined fleet grew stronger each day. Human engineers worked alongside alien technicians, creating hybrid weapons and defenses that no single species could have developed alone. Fighters piloted by humans flew in formation with living ships of the Verdant Chorus. Luminary crystal arrays were integrated into human stealth technology. The Shadowborn have never faced anything like this, the Luminary Elder observed, watching the joint training exercises. Their crystalline form pulsed with amazement as human pilots performed maneuvers that seemed to defy physics, while alien ships adapted human tactics to their unique capabilities. They thought defeating Earth would be like their other conquests, Chen replied. Instead, they gave the galaxy something it never had before, a reason to unite, and the knowledge of how to fight back. The turning point came when long-range scouts reported the Shadowborn fleet was on the move. But instead of heading directly for Earth as expected, they were attacking their own rebellious territories, trying to crush the uprising before confronting the combined fleet. They're desperate, Hassan observed. For the first time in their history, they're facing an enemy they don't understand, using tactics they can't predict. Then it's time, Chen said, turning to the Admiral. We should take the fight to them. Hassan nodded grimly. Send the signal to all Allied forces. Operation Thunderstrike begins now. As the combined fleet prepared for their counteroffensive, Chen couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Humanity had done more than just survive first contact. They had given the galaxy a new way to fight, a new reason to hope. The final battle was approaching, and this time, the Shadowborn would face not just humanity's ingenuity, but the combined strength and determination of every species they had ever tried to conquer. Dawn of a new era. The largest fleet in galactic history emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Shadowborn home system. 7,000 ships representing 15 different species, all united under human tactical command. At their head flew the EDF Artemis, now bearing the flags of both Earth and the Allied Species Coalition. All ships report ready, Chen announced from the Artemis's bridge. The tactical display showed their fleet arranged in what appeared to be complete chaos, exactly as planned. The Shadowborn are responding. Admiral Hassan observed. Their entire fleet is moving to engage. The enemy armada was massive. Over 5,000 ships of pure darkness, each one representing centuries of stolen technology and conquered civilizations. Their commander's transmission was predictably arrogant. You dare to bring your pathetic alliance to our home. We will consume you all. Hassan's response was brief. All ships, execute Operation Daybreak. What followed was warfare on a scale never before seen in the galaxy. The Allied fleet didn't meet the Shadowborn in traditional battle lines. Instead, they scattered into smaller groups, each one operating independently yet part of a greater strategy. Human stealth ships, enhanced with luminary crystals, struck from impossible angles. Living ships of the verdant chorus merged with ambient radiation, becoming nearly invisible. Silicon mine vessels deployed swarms of autonomous drones that adapted faster than the enemy could counter. But the Shadowborn had learned from their previous defeats. They attempted to counter human tactics, spreading their fleet thin to prevent encirclement. That's when Hassan revealed humanity's final innovation. All ships activate the quantum network. New devices, created by combining human eye with alien quantum technology, switched on across the Allied fleet. Suddenly, every ship could react instantly to every other ship's movements. 7,000 vessels thinking and moving as one, yet each acting independently. The Shadowborn fleet's rigid formations broke apart under attacks coming from all directions at once. Their advanced computers, designed to predict logical enemy movements, failed completely against the organized chaos of human tactics. Their flagship is trying to retreat, Chen reported, watching as the massive vessel turned away from the battle. Not this time, Hassan replied. Signal the luminary. Execute crystal resonance. Hundreds of luminary ships activated their modified crystal arrays simultaneously. The crystals didn't just absorb energy now, they redirected it, creating a web of power that trapped the Shadowborn flagship in place. All ships converge on their command vessel, Hassan ordered. Show them what happens when the galaxy unites. The Allied fleet struck as one. Human weapons enhanced by alien technology cut through defenses. Silicon mine viruses corrupted their systems. Verdant chorus ships transmitted bioenergy that disrupted their power cores. The Shadowborn Supreme Commander's final transmission was one of disbelief. How? How did you teach them all to fight like humans? Within hours, it was over. The mighty Shadowborn Empire, which had terrorized the galaxy for centuries, ceased to exist. Their remaining ships surrendered or fulled into deep space, never to return. As the dust settled, Chen stood with Hassan and the luminary elder on the observation deck of the Artemis, watching the combined fleet against the backdrop of stars. We came to Earth seeking help, the elder said, their crystalline form glowing with colors of joy and gratitude. Instead, you gave the entire galaxy its freedom. Hassan nodded. And now the real work begins. In the months that followed, a new galactic order emerged. Earth became the center of the Allied Species Coalition, a union dedicated to mutual defense and cooperation. Human military academies opened their doors to alien students, teaching the art of adaptive warfare. In return, alien species shared their technology and knowledge freely. You know what this means, Chen said to Hassan as they watched ships from a dozen species dock at Earth's new diplomatic center. Everyone out there knows what humanity can do now. They'll never look at Earth the same way again. Good, Hassan replied. Because we're not done yet. There's a whole galaxy out there filled with species who need allies, and Earth will be ready to help. The luminary elder joined them, their form showing the deep purple of respect. You humans have taught us all something important. It's not the size of your fleet that matters, but how you use it. And now, thanks to Earth, the galaxy will never be the same. As they watched the celebration unfold below, everyone knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage not as conquerors or victims, but as teachers, innovators, and protectors. the stars themselves would never be the same again.